Excuse me, everyone, but do you have Prince Albert in a can? Well, if you do, you better go let the poor guy out.
So, part 2 has finally been watched, and I'm ready to talk about it. Are you? 'Cause this one's a doozy.
Beep, beep, Richie!
Where I loved the first half, I really have to say the second half just goes downhill. Steadily, in fact. So, picking up where it left off, the kids vow to come back if Pennywise is still alive, which is something I need to tackle. The reason why the first confrontation in the sewer was enjoyable was because there was a lot of things that were inventive. Like when Eddie comes up and sprays the inhaler on Pennywise's face, it melts his skin. And when Beverly hits him with the silver, which is, by the way, never explained and how or why that's a tool in killing it. But I liked how the light emitted from his head. I liked the prosthetics of that just kind of gooey off of his face, and you could see the details of what he could be if there was something underneath all that. But then it just gets dopey when he flips around through the kids and into the drain, which looked incredibly stop-motion animated. But what annoyed me throughout all of this was, yet again, Bowers. He picks one of the kids off, Pennywise comes in and takes care of it, but it literally becomes a pointless scene for me. Like, I already had a problem with Bowers and the fact that he shows up at all just to torment these kids, just to, threaten the idea of death, just added more waste of space for me, especially when Pennywise ends up becoming the hero of this, just as much as of a villain. Even when Bowers is much older and literally a lunatic, I found his conclusion and the story arc absolutely pointless. That just... why? It really was the point where him wanting to kill these kids in the first place was literally inconceivable. In the end, this leads us into the future where our last loser ends up killing himself in the bathroom, which gave us the ugliest cry anyone could ever muster on TV. Oh, no! That's my best version of trying to be ugly. Might have worked. And here we are to the second half, which is a bit of a drag, say the least. I mean, it takes these characters at least 30 minutes to meet up back with each other. Pennywise torments each individual, which literally is a retread of the first half of the miniseries. I get that these are the adult counterparts. I am with you. Why do you need to reaffirm that Pennywise is back and these are just under his finger, like he's got him, and you could have played this in any way that could have been creepy. Like, I don't know, for the sake of example, don't show Pennywise that much! That was frickin' ridiculous. He just shows up and torments everybody, every single individual. So it's kind of like this.
What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Here I am. Here I am. What do you want? I'm on my break. Boom!
Build him up! Like, the best treatment they gave to building up Pennywise, even though he had already been seen by this point, was a scene I rather did enjoy with the bicycle cards when Bill drops them and the back of them show the face of Pennywise. Wouldn't that just be cooler if that was the first time you started getting teases of Pennywise coming back? I mean, when the movie first started, it started with the girl being taken and killed by Pennywise through the sheets. What if after that first segment of the kids which were great additions, great moments, and great build-up for Pennywise and the kids, what if these adults started a slow burn to see Pennywise as early as the cards? You'd see the face on the back of them. I think that would add so much more tension. Like, how on earth are they going to defeat this guy? There was just so many moments wasted away by boring buildup of these kids that are all now grown up. I will give the movie miniseries this. They did a good job choosing actors to play the adult counterparts, but a few of them, I felt just hammed it up way too much. Awfully melodramatic, loud, obnoxious, like myself, and they repeat themselves so often that I felt like I was watching the movie on repeat. Now, this review isn't a play-by-play or a spoiler video either, so I really am commenting on the quality overall. But the second half is just not as great as the first half. The level of intensity is just not there. Like the dated music, it ain't working. Many of these characters weren't given the greatest material to work with, so they had to make the best of it. I really wasn't fond of the finale either. Back in the sewers, things were a little more focused, but ultimately they had some stupidity factors, like Bill's wife or girlfriend or whatever she was being down there in the sewer because Pennywise took her. Why did she need to be there? What was really at stake for that? Now, if it was in the books, I understand, but it was almost treated like an afterthought, and then suddenly they went, oh, the conflict's over, we gotta make sure that she's a plot point somewhere. I really don't feel like there should have been extra reasons for her to be down there for Bill's sake. Everyone's already emotionally driven to stop this thing. I mean, I know, it's convoluted at best, especially since from book to film adaptation. What's in there is used, and unfortunately what's used in there isn't exactly explored very well. Seeing the final form of Pennywise was a little lackluster, if not interesting, but awfully polarizing. It just didn't make that much sense to me, even if it was a part of the book, so again, nevertheless, I didn't care for the second half as much as I did the first. The first half had some great kids to follow. The story felt like there was something at stake while you got to know these characters. Pennywise was a rising threat as well as a disturbing presence. The second half diffuses all of that. Every single nitpick and small gripe I've had with my first part review and enhance it by 20%. Nothing sticks. The adults were fleshed out wood warped by bad writing. It made me miss the kids that much more. The story went from boring to weird to worse. Gross. And the finale was like, oh, right. We need to do something. What do we do, guys? We should have brought a machine gun. In the end, guys, it was a great ride that overstayed its welcome, with not much to take away from it. Tim Curry, as Pennywise, is amazing. But what they did to set him up was immediately dismissed to humorous dialogue, to an annoying floating head dissolved in front of a moon or between vines and shit. It was well, wow. The kids are sorely missed, even though they are in the second act, but they're just kind of like splotted throughout as like an afterthought. The adults are fine, but it became harder and harder to feel something for any of them by the time this miniseries ended. And that's how I felt about Stephen King's It from 1990. I would give it, like it, but probably wouldn't want to own it. It's good, it's just cheesy. In the end, what did you guys think of it? Did you like it more than me? Or did you find yourself absolutely terrified? What terrified you more than anything coming from Pennywise? Whatever you think or thought, let me know down below. If you can check out my first part review, check out my other videos that are universe reviews covering the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, my movie reviews and skits. If you would like any of them, consider subscribing. As well as know that I am going to review It 2017 soon, sometime in the following week. Bear with me on this, but you got my old review for the 1990 version. So, that's good. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time.